What's up, Swing Trader Snacks here. We're going to jump in and do our watch list for Monday, September 6th. Not going to spend too much time on market breadth. We're getting ready to jump in. Bootcamp guys here in a couple hours, and today we are doing a live market breadth session. We're going to go through the indices and the sectors, look under the hood, and build a few scenarios for where we could go from here. But in a nutshell, we're seeing a lot of what we want to see. We are seeing continuations and breakouts in the equally weighted and small caps as well. So if we do get continuation this week, we've got to take positions. So we're just going to focus on a pretty short relative to what we usually are looking at, but a decently short watch list here today. We've got Roblox up here first. This is a possible setup for a gap down reversal. We got a gap down on a news release, something news related, right, which is a qualifier for a gap down reversal setup, typically either off of earnings or a news release. And if you see an overreaction to it and then Wall Street step in, sort of view it as going on sale, step in and get it back onto trend, we like to take that. And I like how it also aligns back over the 50, guys. So a breach of the gap down high and back over the 50 could be a gap down reversal setup on something that is putting in an IPO cycle. So quite a good look here on Roblox if it can trigger. ALAB is something we've sort of been looking for an entry on here on RRR. If you guys don't know, if it's one of your first times here, if it's not your first time here, subscribe, please. If it is your first time, I like to trade the leaders in a trend backed by growing fundamentals, stocks respecting structure, right? Leaders, more specifically, respecting structure. And we look for them to retrace, react at around our level and remount the 9, which ALAB is looking like it wants to do here. I think clearing this range of Thursday, Friday high area, which is also a little bit of a gap down reversal as well here. So I think clearing that range, that 213.50 area today, might need to swing that bat. CRDO is another one that we are also looking to get into. There was some selling on Friday that I didn't love in some of our names. As you can see here, pretty big bearish engulfing here on CRDO. Not the best look, but we want to keep it on watch. I would probably want to see it clear range now at this point, really confirm the move. So maybe put it in an inside day here and then clear range, Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that would be a good look for CRDO. All right, and then SOFI, Dave, and Pay are three that I want to look at here. SOFI and Pay are quite similar in the look of the chart, but I want to look at XLF here, which is the financial sector ETF, and we want to see this thing clear range. If this thing can clear range, then I want to be taking a good look here at SOFI. We've got an IPO cycle, right? And then you switch to the daily. We did get a breakout of that IPO cycle and then a pullback in. So a bit of a shake and go and a RRR setup, right? So we get a retracement reaction at around our level, remount, you get the shake and go. So you get a breakout, fake out, shake out. And then a lot of times you will see it make, if it can hold structure and push back up, you'll a lot of times see the real move come after a shakeout. So it's why it's one of my continuation models. And then Pay has got a very similar look here. Let's look at it on the weekly. We've had our eyes here on Pay for quite a while because of this giant cup and handle it's putting in on the weekly on accumulation volume. So guys, this is aligning on a RRR on both the weekly and on the daily chart. I think over the 50, you got to take a swing, at least get a starter. And depending on how you guys want to play this, if you just want to do a RRR setup, right, and just go for a 2-to-1. But if you want a bigger move here as we break out of IPO cycle, then I personally like to play that as getting a starter. I typically do quarter size starter down here, let it break out, come back, retest, hold, go up to full size. And then you've got a position where maybe you could even argue you could hold through an earnings report or two and catch a bigger move. Also, consider doing that with shares. You guys know that I trade options typically, especially for my 3-day to 3-month thesis trades. I use options for leverage, really. But for something like this, maybe use shares. If you want to try to hold it through earnings, maybe even a couple of earnings and get that IPO cycle. Bootcamp guys, you know that on an IPO cycle, we are looking for the price range within the time range of the IPO cycle to repeat to the upside, and it happens more often than not in the leaders. All right, and then we've got a few more here, just a couple. HSAI is a very attractive setup to me in a very attractive sector. Same thing here, guys. We've got an IPO cycle testing highs, had a little bit of a shakeout, guys, back over the 9. I think I'm going to take this guy. I really like it. It makes LiDAR for autonomous driving in China, which is growing. Good setup here, right? It's structural, and we've got that narrative backing. I like it. And we've got just a couple more. Uber. All right, this is really it's coiling up here, I would say, right at all-time highs. Over Friday's high would be a decent look. I like some other things better. And then Amazon, we've been watching. I'd like to get Amazon over the 50 if it can do so for a push towards all-time highs. I do need it over the 50 though. And then if we need a short, all right, if we need to get some puts, Pega on this double top. It's not looking too hot. Okay, so that's on the radar, guys. We're up over 200% this year. It's happening today when the contracts go live, the market open. I think we're actually going to be decently over 200%. So major milestone for me. I'm proud. I'm happy you guys are here joining me in boot camp. Consider, if you're not, you get me for 60 days leaning over your shoulder, teaching you all 6 of my models, 5 of which are continuation patterns on the leaders. We use options for leverage, and I teach you proper risk management. And guys, the market is a brutal teacher. I suggest leveraging a mentor or a coach of some sort. Don't let the market take all your money, all right? Anyways, guys, I'll see you soon in boot camp. Stay safe, manage your risks. Let's go make some money.